My sincere thanks to Professor Ankuran Dutta for delivering a very informative and insightful keynote address. Now, for introducing our keynote speaker, Professor Pramila Gurumurthy, former Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu, Dr. J. Jayalalitha, Music and Fine Arts University, I kindly invite Dr. Praveena Madhavan, Lecturer, Department of Carnatic Music, SVIAS.
சுவாமி விபுலானந்த அழகியற்கற்கைகள் நிறுவகம் நடாத்தும் 7வது சர்வதேச மாநாட்டிற்கு வருகை தந்திருக்கும் அனைவருக்கும் எனது மாலை நேர வணக்கங்களை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டு, இந்தியாவிலிருந்து வருகை தந்திருக்கும் டாக்டர் ஜே. ஜெயலலிதா இசை மற்றும் கவின்கலை பல்கலைக்கழக முன்னாள் துணைவேந்தரும் சென்னை பல்கலைக்கழக முன்னாள் இந்திய இசைத்துறை தலைவருமாகிய மதிப்பிற்குரிய பேராசிரியர் டாக்டர் பிரமிளா குருமூர்த்தி அவர்களை அறிமுகம் செய்து வைப்பதில் அவரின் மாணவியாகிய நான் பெருமை அடைகின்றேன். அந்த வகையிலே 5 வயதிலிருந்து இசையை தனது தாயாரிடம் கற்கத் தொடங்கி பல பிரபல வித்வான்களிடம் கர்நாடக இசையையும் ஹிந்துஸ்தானி இசையையும் கற்றுத் தேர்ந்தார். சென்னை ராணிமேரி கல்லூரியில் BA பட்டப்படிப்பை நிறைவு செய்து சென்னை பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் MA, PhD ஆகிய பட்டப்படிப்புகளை நிறைவு செய்தார். மேலும் MA பட்டப்படிப்பை ஃபிலோசஃபியிலும் நிறைவு செய்துள்ளார். 1984 சென்னை பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் விரிவுரையாளராக உள்ளீர்க்கப்பட்ட இவர் 1992 ரீடராக பதவி உயர்வு பெற்று 1998 பேராசிரியர் ஆனார். 2003 இந்திய இசைத்துறையின் தலைவராக பணியாற்றி 2015 ஓய்வு பெற்றார். துறை தலைவராக பணியாற்றிய காலத்தில் MA பரதநாட்டியம், MA ரிதமாலஜி ஆகிய துறைகளை அறிமுகப்படுத்தினார். வேல்ஸ் பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் இசைத்துறையில் BA, MA ஃபைன் ஆர்ட்ஸ், MPhil, PhD ஆகியவற்றை அறிமுகம் செய்து வைத்தார். 2018 ஆண்டு டாக்டர் ஜே. ஜெயலலிதா இசை மற்றும் கவின்கலை பல்கலைக்கழகத்தில் 2வது துணைவேந்தராக 3.5 வருடங்கள் கடமையாற்றினார். இவரே இப்பல்கலைக்கழகத்துக்கு இப்பெயரை சூட்டினார் என்பது பெருமைக்குரிய விடயமாகும். இந்த வருடம் மார்ச் மாதம் சங்கீத் நாடக் அகாடமியால் நேஷனல் ரெகக்னிஷன் ஃபார் ஓவரால் ரிசர்ச் அவார்ட் பிரசிடென்ட் கையால் பெற்றுக்கொண்டார். ஒரு இசைக்கலைஞராக, இசை ஆராய்ச்சியாளராக, குருவாக, வழிகாட்டியாக என பல்வேறு முகங்களை ஒரு சேர கொண்டிருக்கும் பேராசிரியர் டாக்டர் பிரமிளா குருமூர்த்தி அவர்கள் எமது சர்வதேச மாநாட்டுக்கு வருகை தந்தமைக்காக நிர்வாகத்தின் சார்பில் நன்றிகளை கூறி அவரை திறப்புரையாற்ற வருமாறு அன்புடன் அழைக்கின்றேன்.
Professor Ankuran Dutta ji, High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Sri Chandana Udavatta, Senior Professor, UGC, Professor V. Kanagasingam, Vice Chancellor, Eastern University, Professor Mangaleshwaran, former Vice Chancellor, University of Vavuniya, Director Professor Bharati Kennedy of the Swami Vipulananda Institute of Aesthetic Studies, Eastern University, all the academic teaching faculty and non-academic staff and students, a very good evening to all of you. I was born in 1954 in Colombo, and both my parents and my maternal grandfather and paternal grandfather, during the British regime, you know, as Commonwealth countries, they had come to Sri Lanka. It was Ceylon at that time. And my mother's father was teaching at Jaffna College in Vatukotai. And my father was a newsreader, Tamil newsreader. His name is Kunjitha Padam. And he used to tell me I'm an only child for them. But how I was connected with technology is he was a simultaneous interpreter in the parliament. And my mother was the head of the school's program section in Radio Ceylon. So I have always been connected with some sort of technology from my early years in Colombo. And I am a student of St. Bridget's Convent. I finished my O-level and then went to India in 1970 to do my PUC and all those things, whatever. So what I would like to tell you is when I was in school, I never liked to go to school. I always wanted to sit and listen to Radio Ceylon, that too only the film songs of that era. Even now, if I want to relax, I still listen to that old film songs with which I grew up, because I didn't have any siblings to play with. So whatever I wrote here is different, and what I want to tell you now is, very interestingly, Professor Dattaji spoke about storytelling. So my PhD was on storytelling, and I had the opportunity to do research for 6 years on the origin and development of the storytelling tradition, not only in Tamil Nadu, but Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh. Did I leave anything? Anyway, whatever. So when you start listening to or analyzing the storytelling tradition, we go up to the Vedic period called Akhyana Vid, who was the expert storyteller, and we also have the Suta, a community which was professional storytellers who were going from place to place, carrying the genealogy of the kings. Now we are talking about technology, whereas people had everything here in their memory. Even our Master Ji will teach the songs, and we have it all reserved here, and we didn't have to use any notebooks. So when it comes to Harikatha, let me just sing one line. Sara Sara Sar Vitoba Nama Tuje Sar Hare Mhanauni Shulapani Japata hai Varam Var. So this is called Abhang, composed by Sant Jnaneshwar of Maharashtra. And when we talk about South India, the earliest composer is Tirunjana Sambandar, who composed when he was only 3 years old. He's supposed to be the youngest composer in the whole world, according to Professor Sambamurthy, who has written all our textbooks. And there he was born in Sirkari, and he was blessed with the darshan of Lord Shiva and Parvati, and he started to sing this particular song called Todudaya Seviyan Vidayeriyor Tuven Madisudi Kadudaya Sudalai Podi Posiyan Ullam Kavar Kalvan. I don't want to go on singing because this last but not the least, so I just want to say something about what was the scene in 19th century. Before I forget, I would request the Vice Chancellor to introduce also the art of storytelling here. You have painting, you have dance, you have music, all this is also part of the art of, age-old art of Harikatha or Katha Kalakshepa or Katha Prasanga, whatever. And I would also like to mention here that 2 Sri Lankan students came to do their PhD with me, and one is Dr. Mano Manjari from Colombo, who did her master's in Hindustani music in Banaras Hindu University, and another faculty from Jaffna University. She is Sukanya Aravindan, who was also an ICCR scholar. So I had given them 2 topics. So Mano Manjari, I asked her to do origin and development of Hindustani music in Sri Lanka. And it was really fascinating to know that Swami Kolkata from, I forget the name now, but he had come and he was made to inaugurate the Hindustani music, Rabindranath Tagore, sorry. So Rabindranath Tagore came to Colombo during the early 40s or whatever, and he had come and laid the foundation for this Hindustani institution in Colombo. So that's a very good documentation these 2 children have done. The Jaffna scholar, Dr. Sukanya, has published it, and I've been asking Mano Manjari also to do it. And she's also working in that university in Colombo, teaching Hindustani music. So her father was also a violinist who has also been composing music for some Sinhalese films. So what I wanted to tell you here was, what was the scene during the 19th century? How did they manage in the field of drama or music without the technology of this, trying to reach through microphones and things like that? The performances happened at 10 o'clock in the night, especially for the Nagasuram, the Nagasuram Tawil, which is part of the temple instruments called Periya Melam, and the dance was called Chinna Melam. So this was happening in the, say about 10 o'clock in the night, where people used to go and watch the street play theatre, or whether it is Nagasuram, because Nagasuram is a instrument which is, you have, you blow it out. So the sound can really reach far and wide. This Tawil and Nagasuram are known as the open air instruments. Okay? So actually, even if you have it here, you may not need microphones for them, for these artists, because it can really reach out to people. And but what happened is that these musicians or these drama theatre artists could not have a longevity, because they had to really strain themselves to sing in their own voices. So we have this theatre artists who are also singers. So they're not only actors, but they should be able to sing. And even in the old films, you find that the heroes had to be vocalists. So they didn't have this playback singing. All this came later with technology. So what I would like you to emphasize here is how we still were able to perform, whether it was vocal music or instrumental music. And everything, now we have a contact mic for Veena, we have mics for Mridangam, everything. But still, when I find that there was one German gentleman, Ludwig Pesch, and another Irish gentleman, Michael Nixon, during the 80s they had come, and they were recording all the masters at that time, and they named that institution as Sampradaya. And they recorded these artists without any microphones. So without the microphones, they sang, and people were very quiet. So what happens when you have the mic? Even now when we have the mic, we find people talking here, there, everywhere. And when you don't have the mics, then people are very attentive to what you're trying to sing. Because at that time, what are the type of audiences that we had? Maybe 20 to 25 people. Because it was classical music, you don't find 1,000 people coming to you. It was only about 20 to 25 people. And there was one Veena Dhanammal, who was the grandmother of very famous dancer Bala Saraswati. And she always used to play her veena and also sing in the evening on every Friday. So at that time, the people who are selling any vegetables or anything, fruits, they won't even loudly announce about how they were singing, they refrained from calling out about their fruits or vegetables because they had so much of regard for Veena Dhanammal's music, and about 20 most prominent citizens were there to listen to her. And this is how we know how this chaste 20 people, even if you come in December, you can find that 20 to 25 people are there for any classical music. Anything classical, it's always very few people come to enjoy this because they need to know something about the music, whether it's classical Western or Hindustani music or Carnatic or whatever. But I should follow the earlier speaker and congratulate all of you in bringing about a beautiful combination of all arts. They did not do any fusion. That we have to remember. Don't mix anything with something else. You have to retain that purity of the art, whether it's an instrument or whether it's a dance form or a music form. So we had the Candian style of dance, the Odissi, the Bharatanatyam, the Kuchipudi, all very beautifully done, and a big appreciation to all these children who were able to do this, and I was stunned. I have never seen this type of a dance even in Chennai, of bringing all these people in one stage. And there was a lot of editing which has gone also into that music, where they were able to bring each region's music and make it very wholesome. And you can go on, but again, I would like to request the Vice Chancellor to also have some storytelling, at least in the elective course, where children will know to bring all this. In Tamil we say, Iyal Isai Nadagam. Iyal is literature, Isai is music, Nadagam is theatre. So all these are there in this storytelling tradition. And children, when you do something regarding research, try to see what stories are available in each region of this country. I think in Sinhalese they'll say Katava. Katha is a Sanskrit term. So every region has its own tradition of folk tales or religious tales or whatever. We have Buddha Jataka stories, and we have Ramayana, Mahabharata and Bhagavata. So we also have a Villupattu, which is a folk tradition where they beat a bow with the arrows. These people were hunters, I believe. Once upon a time, they went out for hunting. After a meal, they were doing some storytelling with music and all that. So when it comes to storytelling, I have also read about Chitrakati. These Chitrakati beggars were there in Maharashtra, where paintings were shown and they were narrating the stories. So we can see how old, this is about 500 BC, this reference. So anyway, thank you, Dr. Madhavan, Dr. Praveena, and Dr. Shyamalangi, and Srimati Brinda, and everybody for providing me this opportunity to come and meet you and speak to you. Thank you very much.
Many thanks to Professor Pramila Gurmurthy Madam. Now, a souvenir will be presented to the director and keynote speakers. I kindly invite the guest of honor, special guest, and the organizing committee of the IRC SVIAS 2024 to the stage.
Speaker and kindly call upon another keynote speaker also get the souvenir and I kindly call upon our next keynote speaker to get the souvenir, please. Also, I kindly call upon our director to get our token of appreciation. Thank you. So, with a vote of thanks, thank you.
A sincere thanks to the guest of honor, special guest, and the organizing committee of the IRC SVIAS 2024. Now, I'm glad to invite Dr. Sri Ashalya Srivatsan, the Secretary of the 7th International Research Conference, to propose the word of thanks.
Good evening to you all. It is my great honor to deliver this vote of thanks on behalf of the Organizing Committee for the 7th International Research Conference, IRC SVIAS 2024. We are deeply grateful for your presence and contribution, which have greatly contributed to the success of this conference. First and foremost, we extend our deepest gratitude to Senior Professor Chandana P. Udawatha, Vice Chairman of the UGC of Sri Lanka, for gracing us as our chief guest. Your insightful speech and support have enriched our event. Our sincere thanks also go to our guest of honor, Professor V. Kanasingam, Vice Chancellor of Eastern University, Sri Lanka,
And to our special guest, Professor T. Mangaleswaran, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Vavuniya, your encouragement and participation have elevated this conference. We are immensely grateful to our esteemed keynote speakers, Professor Anguran Datta, Director, SVCC High Commission of India in Colombo, and Professor Dr. Pramila Gurumurthy, former Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Jayalalitha, Music and Fine Arts University, India. Your insights were invaluable and have truly inspired us. I would also like to express our deep appreciation to our director, Professor Florence Bharati Kennedy, for her exceptional leadership and vision that guided us through this event. Now I would like to acknowledge the efforts of the organizing subcommittees and their coordinators. Fundraising Conference Kit, thank you for ensuring all the necessary resources were in place. Promotion, media and documentation, special thanks to the media unit for your promo, highlights and full coverage, bringing the conference into the spotlight. Registration team, thank you for managing participant registration seamlessly and ensuring everyone was well informed. Transport and accommodation team, thank you Mr. T. Dwaskar and team handling the logistic for transporting guests from all the way to Colombo to Batticaloa and ensuring comfortable accommodations. Ceremonial and stage program, special thanks to Dr. T. Pradeepan, Dr. T. Ushanti and Dr. Nilanka Lienagi, also Dr. Ruben Sarma for ensuring a perfect setup for every session and performances. Food and refreshment team, your attention to hospitality was deeply appreciated by all attendees. Thank you, Dr. C.S. Ranjit Kumar. Session hall arrangements, thank you for creating a comfortable and conducive environment for productive discussions. Entrance and stage decoration, special thanks to the Department of Visual and Technological Art for making the event visually appealing and for working late into the night to ensure everything was perfect. We deeply appreciate your dedication and extra work. Mr. V. Ramanan, Mrs. Renuja Shivashankar and Mr. M. Srishant. Hall arrangement, a big thank you to the maintenance team for arranging the hall so beautifully. Thank you, Mr. N. Arunesh and team. Invitation team, thank you for ensuring all invitations were sent out and that we had full participation. Proceedings team, thank you for perfectly compiling and documenting the conference proceedings. Reviewers and editorial board, we are deeply grateful for your hard work and preparing the proceedings and ensuring the highest quality of content. Unit of ICT, thank you for your outstanding efforts in the grand launch of proceedings and your multimedia support. Your technical expertise has been invaluable. Designing and printing team, special thanks to Mr. A. Arul Sanjit, lecturer, for your professional and polished designs which added a touch of elegance to the event. Sounds and light team, led by Mr. Dharmalingam, thank you for creating the perfect audio-visual environment, enhancing the experience for all attendees. Certificates, letters and souvenirs team, thank you for preparing memorable keepsakes for our participants and guests, and special thanks to Mr. M. Srishant and Mr. A. Arul Sanjit for designing them. Guest accommodation team, thank you Dr. N. Madhavan for ensuring our guests were well taken care of during their stay. Deputy Registrar, thank you for approving all necessary orders to support the conference. Also, Deputy Bursa, thank you for ensuring all the purchasing orders were processed on time, making sure everything arrived smoothly. Thank you, Student Union, for your great and strong support for bringing this much of participants for today's event. Finally, a special mention to the track coordinators and organizers for ensuring each session will be conducted smoothly. To all our participants, presenters and attendees, thank you for your invaluable contributions and enthusiastic participation. You have made this conference truly memorable. Thank you. Tomorrow, our technical session will be started at 9 a.m. and concluding event will be at 2 p.m. Please join us, encourage us and support us. Thank you.